danger to area residents. A camp staff member who didn't want to go on camera told us closing the camp won't solve any of its problems. Still, those neighbors concerned about the runaways are breathing easier. Yet both sides say now that the camp is closed, maybe some of the security problems can be solved if the camp ever reopens. From Christian County, I'm Doug Ohlemeier for News Center 27. Full-time commercial farmers will go broke. So what happened? Why are America's farmers, once practitioners of America's proudest occupation, now close to becoming an endangered species? And why do the farmers work 14 to 20 hours a day to feed the world, yet receive bare minimum wage for their labors? Farm economists
get reelected.
All this week we've shown you some of agriculture's problems. If nothing else, we've at least given you a better understanding for the farmers' struggles which affect you and I, the consumers, proving that farming is indeed an American crisis. Doug Ohlemeier, News Center 27. The passenger trains are gone, but the memories of Frisco railroading glory live on here inside the Frisco Railroad Museum.
With the merger,
North Texas producers say returning to the marginal wells like this one means more money and labor. Oil companies will have to buy more equipment and hire more people, thus boosting the local oil field economy.
all we've ever had.
Foster care leaders this year are trying a new approach to get public attention. Their campaign is called Your Home Could Change a Life, and it'll appear on car stickers like this one and brochures. The statewide thrust will try to encourage more people to consider becoming foster parents.
When you travel from...
This isn't dog training. The real training is of the kids, the supposed masters on the other end of the leash. Still, other kids don't.
That America is for all of us.
As you can see, Fernandez's luncheon wasn't a full house. And that may be his biggest obstacle on the road to the White House, name recognition. However, the admitted dark horse is hoping someday his name will be a household word. His journey to the nation turned to their jobs. Unionized workers say they want a fair deal, yet their jobs may be on the line. This production stoppage may be a sign of the future for labor in this non-labor state. Doug Ohlemeier, Texoma Tonight, Burke Burnett. Union workers here had threatened to walk off their jobs last March. Then it was a contract dispute over pay and benefit cuts. Today, some Amazon workers say working here is a matter of life and death. There's more action at the Unemployment Center. Walking through these doors of the Texas Employment Commission is a new experience for many of these unemployed oil workers. They've never had to look for work outside their field. However, with the way things are on the oil patch these days, it's a task they may have to get used to. Al Lehman is getting used to it. He spent more than 14 years of his life working on the rigs. Thousands like him are looking for work. He goes up a hard freeze. Nature has its own way of protecting the baby seed, but when it gets too cold, that seed can't pollinate and reproduce, and that's when farmers can lose their crops. For the normal children. A sad fact of life for many animals here at the Humane Society is euthanasia. Twice a week, and sometimes more often, 50 to 100 cats and dogs are put to sleep. The problem? Too many pets.
It's...
Harvest. An investigation is underway into the herbicide drift. Agriculture researchers will be studying leaf samples and soil tests. They'll try to determine who or what is responsible for damaging such an important crop vital to the Wilbarger County economy. In Wilbarger, this is the busiest time of year for these farmers. It's not unusual for them to work from sunrise to past midnight. But for the wheat farmers of Oklahoma, this year's harvest may not be worth all the extra effort. Doug Ohlemeier, Channel 6 News. Morning, the waters had declined. McGrath Creek wasn't overflowing. Yet some of the residents here are angry. They say the city should have provided better drainage.
There's no reason for that damn dirt to be down there like that.
Flooding problems aren't new to these residents here at French Quarter. They've gone to the city council before for help. They say they're going again. Stores. The stockers, checkers, and even some of the store managers here face an uncertain future. The company that's buying some of the stores, Burrs Incorporated, isn't promising to hire any Safeway employees.
Counted down.
Provided important mail service and economical transportation for North Texas residents with 4 daily trains. It's desolate today here at the end of 8th Street, but 20 years ago, when the Union Station stood here, you could walk inside and buy a train ticket to Dallas or Denver. Today, only passing freight serve this area. Yet a group of local rail fans is trying to preserve our rail heritage. Steve Ozenovich. You'd better hurry and take advantage of these low gasoline prices, because Labor Day not only means the traditional end to summer, it also means the end to these cheap gasoline prices. Doug Ohlemeier, News Center East Texas, Longview. had lost custody of the children a week before their disappearance. The Greens, like other concerned parents, are hoping these balloons will do more than just sail off into the clear blue sky. They're hoping these balloons will call attention to America's missing children problem.
Even if it doesn't help with to decrease those, I feel like we should go out on strike and fight to keep those, because we do have a high-pressure job, and I think we deserve what we have.
Even if the communication workers go on strike this weekend, you shouldn't have any problems making or receiving phone calls, local or long distance. But if you're a woman... One source of controversy between the city and the police department has been over paperwork. The city claims the police chief hasn't properly kept his officer timesheets. But the police chief says he has, and says the city wants him to triple his paperwork. Rogers.
It's poison type gas.
So authorities any moment will be closing off the highways to keep motorists safe from such a danger. State troopers rerouted a restaurant near closing time on that football Friday evening. An oil worker discovered the victims' bodies here on this oil lease 12 miles south of town and in another county. Lawmen say the bodies, one of which was discovered here, the others on that end of the property, were shot execution style. And the events which ended on that infamous night continue haunting Kilgore residents.
Made us all a little...
Entitling cardholders to discounts at various area pet-related businesses. Humane Society leaders are hopeful the community will help them exceed their $15,000 goal and share their love with homeless pets. Doug Ohlemeier, News Center, East Texas, Longview. Clemens is attributing his victory to outworking the Democrats, but soon another battle will start, as the new Republican governor will try to cure the state's budgetary problems by cutting state spending, not raising state taxes, at a time when state revenues are expected to remain the same.
I've said to these,
Especially the younger children. The parents here in Gilmer are scared, many afraid their children will be hurt further if they talk to us. Yet one parent did speak out. Nancy did. This is Dustin Nichols. The 7-year-old art boy is suffering a life-threatening disease and needs a liver transplant. A lot of his friends and family in this area are helping him generously through their support. Dustin, what's it like having these many friends caring for you?
It's really great that all these people helping me.
Dustin didn't say much today, apparently overwhelmed by the attention and community support which has greeted him lately, especially from his related to the shooting. Defense lawyers had argued Walk was suffering paranoid schizophrenia and was responding to the voices of demons, saying he was no more responsible for his actions than a child who dirtied his diapers. But prosecutors argued Walk's statement, "I'm going to shoot you two guys," and his handing over his gun to Ralph Meyer and asking Meyer to shoot him clearly indicated Walk's remorse, intent, and predetermination in the shootings.
he won't be going...
Center next week will start training some volunteers who'll have a variety of duties, including answering the crisis hotline number, working directly with the clients, and possibly some publicity work. Youngblood says she wants people who are willing and dedicated to helping battered women. In Hastings, I'm Doug Ohlemeier for Eyewitness News.
Generally, the market's kind of hard.
But the people here in Reed Springs aren't alone in solving this wet problem, as city officials are hoping to enlist numerous volunteers from surrounding towns to help them look for the leak. That's not only giving the city a big headache, but it's also costing them a lot of money. From Reed Springs, I'm Doug Ohlemeier for News Center 27.
The problem...
Responsibility for it.
During the discussion, one regent suggested increasing the financial aid so as to offset the fee increases. But another countered, only high achievers receive scholarships through the financial aid. So it'll be interesting to see how the situation will resolve, or if any fees aren't passed during the next Board of Regents meeting next month. From SMSU, I'm Doug Ohlemeier for News Center 27.
The region...
Coming strong again.
So just how far Springfield's downtown revitalization continues depends not only, of course, upon money, but on many things money can't buy, like the attitudes of the business people, shoppers, and residents who live in this area, and their willingness to see their downtown be reborn instead of suffering further declines. From downtown Springfield, I'm Doug Ohlemeier for News Center 27.
Possibly a changing farming operation.
Some farm observers say just a few years ago, bad management led to most farm bankruptcies. But today, considering the low prices they're receiving for the products they produce, even those farmers considered good money managers are also experiencing financial difficulties.
We're not going to get...
Expiring at the end of '88. But it wasn't easy getting the presidential primary to the governor. The bill went to the House 5 times, each time being opposed by the Senate. So now the governor and presidential primary supporters are looking forward to reviewing the bill's results. From Jefferson City, I'm Doug Ohlemeier for News Center 27. I'm Doug Ohlemeier. Tonight, reaction on calls for tougher drug laws.
And a Japanese student is being questioned for attempts to board a plane with weapons, while experts meet in Sweden to find ways to fight AIDS. And a famous Western writer has died. These stories plus Mark Jerome has sports.